Hey everybody, this is Matt Tebow with Stacked, and today I'm joined by the upset winners of the day, Immortals bot laner Raes. How are you doing, man?
Hey, I'm pretty happy after that victory. Honestly, I played like an extremely easy champion, so I'm not like it's not like I got to show anything off, to be honest. But I'm really happy with like how my team performed. We got an early lead, and honestly, we just like cleanly closed it out from there. So I'm happy.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask you about that in a bit. So, first thing I normally do is I just want you to walk me through the game. Evil Geniuses are touted as like one of the best teams in LCS right now, and you guys look super dominant throughout the game. So just walk me through it.
I'd say like coming into the game, just based off the drafts, it was like a massive draft difference. I think like there's a reason Seraphine gets banned a lot in just every game, not just including ours, and I think they just like bot matchup was good, top matchup was good, mid matchup was good. Like we outscaled and we like won early game, and jungle matchup was good, even though they banned three junglers. So I don't know, they just kind of griefed the draft, and then as long as we didn't like massively in early game or like give them some soul win condition if they like stack dragons, which they didn't, then yeah, the game was really easy to win.
Hmm. And would you account that for the dominance you guys showed? Because you guys looked completely different today than I've seen yesterday and the last weekend. So is that the complete difference, or was there something more to it?
I think the difference is just like in the games we did lose, we just like made a massive mistake early game. Like yesterday, I died using both sums in like a matchup where if I die and I don't have sums against like fresh Callista, it's really hard to play the game. Like I can get just like completely rolled over on, which they didn't end up doing. But and then like the other game against C9, Drag Azurse, like fucked up and I mean he screwed up the top side, and then the game just like snowballed from there because it was really bad for top two. And then against Golden Guardians, we just like picked Ivan into GP, and then we like screwed up level one with like he's meant to win that lane, and then he like screwed up, so that lane like turned out badly. The draft should have been good, but after that it was like bad. And yeah, like I'd say we're just making like these small massive mistakes. Okay, we're making these massive mistakes super early on, and then we're not actually getting to be able to play the game just because of that.
So would you say that holding your own in the early game has been a point of focus in your practices?
Yeah, pretty much. It's not like we're making these like early mistakes as a team and we're just getting like aced or something. We're just making an individual mistake, which makes it really hard to play the game from that point on. We're not actually getting to like play the game mid game or late game. Like today, we did everything like how we wanted, and then like against TL, it was kind of the same. Although we got like advantages in that game, we actually were winning early game. So yeah, as long as like the early or mid game goes well, that's pretty much just the difference between our wins and losses so far.
Hmm. I'm also interested in asking you what your journey to North America has been like. As you know, like obviously, there have been a lot of players that have been plagued with visa issues, and most famously, like Brox is still stuck in Denmark. He can't
Yeah.
get over here. So, would you mind talking to me about your journey to North America and just giving us a little bit of insight into that visa process?
The visa process, because of COVID, it was like delayed. I know that last year when Rioma came to NA, his visa, like he got his visa pretty early on. He was like over here in November, but for me, I ended up like having to wait until I got over here on January 15th. Like that was like the earliest I could have came, which is actually like the reason for the Lockin tournament. It was so every team could get their players like in, and um yeah, or else like we would have been playing in LCS. But I think like what Riot did with how they handled, because knowing that every team would have like visa issues, like Broxah still does sadly, and like Finn did, that I think like LCS handled it really well
Mm.
the off season.
Yeah, just to break that down into something a little more digestible, on a scale of 1 to 10, with a 1 being no control at all and a 10 being absolute control, how much of a hand did you have or were you able to have in getting your visa done on time?
Um, I have no idea. Like did
Hmm.
the the teams did the visas for us. So yeah, I wouldn't have a clue to be honest.
Okay,
But as soon as I got my visa approved, I got my flight, and then I just came over.
for sure. Moving on from that, you talked about Seraphine a little bit. Is she just broken, or is she best champion in the game broken, or is she in between that?
Um, I would just say she's broken. I think there's comps that are good into her, and that like early picking her is not the best. I think that definitely you can definitely play around like if the enemy team does pick it, but they just ended up picking champs that I would say like are really bad into her. And we also like got it on last pick, so it was just a really good game for Seraphine.
Mhm. And changing the topic again. So, like you said, the reason that you called it the reason for Lockin was the roster wasn't fully complete. Everybody was coming off of probably like jet lag and just kind of scuttling over here. Does that mean that anyone outside of your team has a true idea for what Immortals is capable of?
Yeah, I guess I'd say no. Like all the other teams besides us and CLG, like they've almost played a month together, and we've played like 2 weeks together so far. So we're definitely like behind on our development as a roster, and I think we're still figuring out like our identity and how we want to like primarily play the game. And I think once we figure that out, with the few weeks we have next, like we'll have a pretty good shot, hopefully going into playoffs.
Mhm. So would you say CLG, like you said, is suffering from the same problem?
Yeah, like CLG have had it worse off than us. They got in Finn really late, and then they also subbed out Paul Belter for RJS. So
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even have Roxy yet. So like, I
For
don't know.
sure.
I feel really bad for them to be honest.
All right. Also, quick prediction. You guys are a brand new bot lane coming straight from Oceania. Where do you guys see yourself in like rankings of bot lane duos in the LCS?
Mm, I was pretty confident coming into like I was pretty confident whether I did bad or good. That like at the end of the split we'd be a pretty good bowling, but like right now, honestly, I'm not that confident in myself, so I wouldn't know where to rate myself to be honest. At like the start when I was confident, I felt like a top 4 bot lane, but right now, no idea honestly. I don't want to even say like the number.
That's fair. Well, anyways, thank you, Rays, for taking the time to talk to me. This is Matt Tebow with Stacked. You can find us online at stacked.gg, and you can follow us on all of our socials at stackedlol. Rays, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today,
You're
man,
welcome.
and good luck tomorrow for the rest of your
Thank
game.
you. Have a good night.
You too.